Is Phoenix about to run out of water? I get asked that nearly every time I talk to someone out of state before they move here. And the headlines definitely make it sound like the desert is about to go dry. So let me give it to you straight. As someone who actually lives here and sells homes here, the real answer is more reassuring than the headlines. But there are two specific things that every West Valley buyer genuinely needs to check before they sign. You get those right, and you can buy with total confidence. You miss them, and you could have a real problem. So let's separate the fear from the facts. What is going on, everybody? This is SHANDELIN Anderson, a realtor here in the West Valley of Phoenix, Goodyear, Buckeye, Surprise, Litchfield Park, and Peoria. And I'm not a hydrologist, and I'm not even going to pretend to be, but I deal with the real-world water questions on real West Valley transactions. And I'd rather you hear the honest, calm version from me than the scary version from the headlines. So let's get into it. Here's why this matters so much. Water is probably the single biggest fear of people moving to Arizona in 2026. And fear makes people do two dumb things. Either they panic and they don't buy a home that they have loved, or they wave it off completely and they don't do one bit of homework that actually matters. Both are mistakes. The truth lives in the middle, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where. Let me start by being fair to the fear, because it's not made up. Phoenix is a desert. A big chunk of the Southwest water comes from the Colorado River, and the Colorado River system has been under real long-term stress from drought and overuse. And that's a genuine regional challenge. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the water is a non-issue in the desert Southwest. That would be dishonest. So when you see the headline that says the West is running dry, there's a real story underneath it. But, and this is the part that the headlines skip, the region faces water challenges is a very different statement than your house in the West Valley will have no water. Those are not the same sentence, and the gap between them is where the truth lives. Here's what most people moving here have never heard, and it should make you feel a lot better. Arizona has been taking this seriously for decades, longer than almost anywhere in the country. The state has real groundwater management laws and long-term planning in place, and the headline protection for you as a buyer is the concept of an assured water supply. In a major active management area that covers the Phoenix Metro, new developments generally have to demonstrate a designated or assured water supply. The well-known standard is showing roughly 100 years of projected water supply before homes get approved. Let me say that plainly. A lot of the housing you buy in the metro was built under a framework that required proving a long-term water supply before it existed. That is not nothing. That is decades of planning specifically designed so that the story is not build first, find water later. Arizona also banks water, literally stores it underground in wet years to draw on in the dry ones. And the state has a long history of using Colorado River water carefully and diversifying sources. Is any of this a magic wand that makes desert water infinite? No, but it means Arizona is one of the most prepared places in the arid West, not one of the least. That context almost never makes it into a scary thumbnail. So let me pause here, because this is exactly the kind of thing that I help buyers work through. If you're looking at a specific home or a specific community in the West Valley and you want help checking the water situation the right way, that's part of what I do for my buyers. Call or text me at 540-623-4143 or grab my free West Valley Buyer Guide in the description. Now, the two things you actually do need to check. Thing one, know where the community's water comes from and how it's provided. Most homes you'll buy in an established West Valley are serviced by a municipal or a private water provider on a long-term supply plan. That's the normal reassuring situation. Where you want to slow down and ask more questions is on the far edges of growth, on the newest fringe developments, on rural and unincorporated land where the water picture can be different. For example, properties on a private well, or brand new areas whose long-term supply designation you'll want confirmed. The fix is simple. Ask directly in writing who provides the water and what the long-term supply situation is. A good agent, me or whoever you work with, does this as a matter of course. Thing 2, if a property is on a private well rather than a city water provider, treat that as a get more information flag, not necessarily a walk away flag. Wells are common and fine in the right rural settings, but they come with their own considerations. Depth, condition, the local groundwater picture, and you'll want them checked as part of your due diligence. Most of my typical West Valley buyers in cities like Goodyear and Surprise are the built-up parts of Buckeye are on municipal water, and this doesn't apply. But if you're going to be more rural, ask the question loudly. Get those two things right, and the water question goes from a scary unknown to a checked box. So let's answer the real question behind the question. Should the water situation stop you from moving to the West Valley? For the overwhelming majority of buyers I work with, buying a normal home in an established municipality served West Valley community, my honest answer is no. It should not stop you as long as you have done the basic homework that we just covered. People have been building lives, raising families, and retiring happily in the West Valley for generations, and the state has planned for exactly this. What I won't do is promise you that the desert has unlimited water forever. Nobody honest can promise that about anything. What I can tell you is that Arizona is usually prepared. Your home almost certainly sits alongside a long-term supply framework, and the risks that do exist are checkable before you ever sign. That's a manageable, informed decision, not a leap of faith. So, I give you this calm version because I've watched fear cost good people the right home. And I've watched other people skip the homework and buy something rural without asking the well question. Both are avoidable. The buyers who do this right, and who ask, who provides the water and confirm the supply, sleep just fine. That's the whole point of having someone local in your corner. So tell me in the comments, was the water question one of your big fears about moving to Arizona? And be honest, you're not alone, and I want to know how much this is weighing on you. And then here's the next step. If you're looking at the West Valley and you want someone who will help you check the water situation the right way and everything else, call or text me at 540-623-4143 or grab my free West Valley buyer guide in the description. And if you're selling to make your move, use the free home value tool in the description to see what your current home is worth today. It takes about a minute. I'm SHANDELIN Anderson, and this is Living in the West Valley of Phoenix, where you get the calm, honest version instead of the scary one. Subscribe, and the next video will make you a smarter, more confident buyer too. SHANDELIN, your neighborhood realtor. Talk to you later.